Our next speaker is someone who embodies this skill. He has been a Toastmaster since 1996. He was the president of Toastmasters International in 2014-15. He is the District 105 parliamentarian. He has 27 years of experience in director and CEO roles in the field of emergency medical services, HR, and strategic planning. He is retired as Lieutenant Colonel from Dubai Police after serving for 20 years. Presently, he's an entrepreneur and manages 4 companies. When I asked our next speaker to share his credentials, he told me to introduce him as a human being. That reinforces my belief that he is one of the exemplary human beings that I have met. Being a leader doesn't require a title. Please join me to welcome on screen a humble, hardworking, handsome, distinguished Toastmaster, Mohammed Murad, for his session on Life is a Leadership Opportunity.
Thank you, Nimi, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests who are non-Toastmasters. Thank you for being here, especially on a Friday afternoon where you could be somewhere else enjoying your time with family. But I'm sure that the previous 2 sessions were thought-provoking. And I hope that this session also will provoke a few thoughts in your mind into what life is all about. And once you ask yourself, what is life all about? There are so many things that come into our minds where it's important to look at life as a whole entity. But then if you look at life as a whole entity, it shows that it's a huge opportunity. For most of us, 70, 80 years of opportunity. And at the end of this journey, you go and ask yourself, what have I done? And this is where I would like you to look at what opportunity means to you. And opportunity in the bigger picture meaning. It's not about being successful in career. It's not about making money or living on an island with beaches and exotic foods. It has a much bigger meaning that we will try to explore in this session, and hopefully you will have sort of an answer at the end of the session. I am pretty sure if you have proper insight and introspection, the answer is not going to be very clear at the end of the session, and there will be a lot of reflection that will need to be done in order for you to find this answer. And isn't life all about finding answers? But for us to have this bigger opportunity get fulfilled, it's important for us to break it down into smaller ones. And it's important for us to understand that whatever actions we take in this life, they are actions to become better leaders. And I want you to think of this, the statement. Whatever actions you take in this life are actions to become a better leader. And if we couple this statement with saying that life is a big opportunity, then your actions are fulfilling the big opportunity, through breaking down the opportunity, the big one, into smaller opportunities. And for opportunities to come into fruition for any one of us, there are certain skills that we need to have. And within these skills, you will be able to fulfill the small opportunities and go on into becoming a better leader. Now, let me take you back to Robert and Umar's sessions. The first one was impromptu speaking. And the second one was evaluation. And if we take impromptu speaking in a life perspective, you will understand that there will be many situations that will come across your path that will need you to react right then and there. And it's those sets of skills that are required for you to be able to react in the most efficient way. Any one of us could react. But are these reactions the most efficient in order for us to become better? That is one of the things that we need to look at, is being able to react to situations which have never come across us. And probably the pandemic is something that we were forced to deal with. Some of us has dealt with it in a very proactive way. And they are seeing the results in their life, and probably for many, many years to come. And there are others who have just said, I give up. I am not good in impromptu. Therefore, I cannot react right then and there. I need some time. Therefore, the time that they lose is lost opportunity. And if we do not take advantage of those small opportunities that come across us, we will not be able to have a collective, positive, efficient one at the end. Now, Umar's session is very interesting because if you reflect upon evaluation in life, how would you evaluate what you are doing? And our life is dependent on continuous evaluation, not only by others, but by ourselves, to evaluate what are we doing and are we satisfied with what we are doing. So you need to be prepared with a set of skills to react when reaction is required. And by the way, it's not if this will be required, it's when this will be required. So we should not let our guards down and say that maybe this will not happen, so we do not need to be prepared. But continuous evaluation will reinforce the set of skills that are required. Because if you evaluate yourself every period of time, that is when you will understand where your skill is lacking a bit, where you are strong in some things and you need to develop some other things, or probably become more stronger in the things that you are good at. And it's so dynamic that if you have this perspective in your life, there are different frequencies that you will be working on at different times of your life. And I refer you to David Hawkins, who talks about frequencies and the people working on different frequencies, going from the very negative to the utmost frequency, which is 700 to 1000, which he says is the most frequency that your brain could work on. But those 700s are people like the Dalai Lama and those who have installed so much of opportunities for others and so much of goodwill in their lives. And those are the people that I'm talking about whenever we say life is a big opportunity. They have gone across the same circumstances that anyone goes through. It's about perspective, which will make a difference. So different people work in different frequencies. And if we have continuous feedback onto how we are doing, and we get feedback from the people who are close to us, that's the time that you will understand how much of difference you could make from the opportunity that you have in your life. And it's interesting to look at how much difference you can make by looking at your circle of influence. Stephen Covey talks about the circle of influence, and he says your circle of influence is the people that you know. But once you look at your opportunities, you will understand that your circle of influence could become bigger and bigger and bigger. Therefore, your opportunities becoming even bigger. Now, one thing that I have learned in Toastmasters, and probably many of my colleagues here have learned, is that it's not possible to have better opportunities. It's not possible for us to develop unless we develop others with us. And probably this is why Uma, Robert had spent some time into sharing experience, because they believe that their circle of influence is increasing. Even if we have one person here who has not been in the circle of influence of the speakers, that's more than enough, because you build upon it in order for you to have the opportunity of becoming a better leader. Now, there are three things that I would like to put into your perspective that would make opportunities brighter. It is more highlighted, and you will be able to focus more on the opportunities that might appeal to you more, and therefore work on them and make them as those small bricks that are built one by one into making this whole wall of opportunity that we call our lives. Now, the first element is passion. And if I ask the audience, what is your utmost passion? And you will probably have so many different answers. You don't have to answer anything, by the way, in this session, because it needs to be inward first. So you need to ask yourself, what is your utmost passion? And this is the first P out of the three Ps that I would like to talk to you about. And once you have identified it, and probably some of us spend quite some time into looking into what is this utmost passion, and some people don't even think about it until the later stages of life. For me, I had a passion in the beginning of my career, and that was becoming a police officer. And I did fulfill my passion because I went into training, and I believe that I was very successful into increasing my circle of influence at the end of my career in the police by influencing so many people. My circle of influence at the end of my police career was the whole city of Dubai. Why? Because as I progressed into taking opportunities in the police and taking different roles, I had the opportunity, fortunate enough, to run the ambulance department. Therefore, I was running the emergency medical services for the whole city of Dubai. Therefore, my circle of influence was the whole city of Dubai, saving lives in the whole city of Dubai. But along the way, I understood that this is a big passion. Not being a police officer, it got focused, like being able to do the best I can in the emergency medical services. Now, it's okay for you to have a passion for a certain period of time, and then your passion could change. And this is probably what happened to me also. I came to a point that prompted me, saying that you have done what you can in your circle of influence, therefore it's time for you to move on. And this is probably why I retired from the police and I went into business, and the passion of training, passion of changing lives came into my perspective. And I'm pursuing it till now. Probably I'll be pursuing it till the end of my life. So P number 1 is passion. P number 2, practice. And Toastmasters gives us a wonderful opportunity for us to practice leadership, which is life in my perspective and in my definition. So Toastmasters actually teaches you how to live life through practice. And let me tell those people of young age that are in the audience, I believe that ones who are seasoned would have understood this a long time ago. Nothing comes for free. I repeat, nothing comes for free. And practice is what you have to pay, is in place of the money that you have to pay in order to gain good leadership. Once you practice, more and more opportunities come to you. Therefore, more and more of life experience you are exposed to. And if you do that, more and more, your circle of influence becomes bigger. And that is what life is all about. So passion, practice, and P number 3, perseverance. There are many people who practice and practice and practice and give up. And that is where the opportunity stops. It's important for us to understand that we are practicing life at every stage of our life. But once you get tired of practice, there is no more perseverance, there is no more persistence. And this is where you stop becoming a leader. So it's very simple, but it's very difficult to sustain. Have your passion in your vision, in your focus all the time. Practice, practice, practice in any opportunity that you get, because that is a life opportunity. Persevere, persist in whatever you do, because that will get you to bigger heights. Thank you.